1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The President meets the Chinese President. Sri Lanka reached a staff-level agreement with the IMF to release the second tranche of about $330 million. The Public Utilities Commission approves the electricity tariff increase from today. The Parliament debates on the decision the United Nations organization should take to mediate the Israel-Palestinian war. President Ranil Wickremesinghe met Chinese President Xi Jinping during his visit to China. The President's media division said, China is willing to offer assistance to Sri Lanka without political conditions and buy more of its products, President Xi Jinping told his Sri Lankan counterpart during a bilateral meeting in Beijing today, the foreign media reported. Further, the two sides have agreed to strengthen the coordination on international and regional affairs. Meanwhile, the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Beijing said the two leaders have pledged to further consolidate the strong partnership and expansive cooperation between Sri Lanka and China. The Sri Lankan President arrived in Beijing to attend the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation. A stream of leaders from emerging market countries reached Beijing for the meeting organized by the Chinese government to mark the 10th anniversary of its Belt and Road Initiative. President Ranil Wickremesinghe announced the commencement of the construction of a temple and a stupa in Henan province, China, designed to embody traditional Sri Lankan architectural elements reminiscent of the historic White Horse Temple. This temple complex is recognized as China's first Buddhist shrine. The decision to undertake this project was made during a recent discussion held in Beijing, in which President Wickremesinghe engaged with the head of the White Horse Temple, His Holiness Ying Li. The initial stone for the temple's construction was laid during the tenure of Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe as Prime Minister, with Mr. Karu Jayasuriya and then Speaker officiating at the ceremony. Regrettably, the project had been put on hold, but now, under the leadership of President Wickremesinghe, it is set to recommence with new plans in the making. The International Monetary Fund is looking for a strong budget and narrower deficit from Sri Lanka as it seeks funding to bridge the gap between government revenue and expenditure, the IMF mission chief for the country said yesterday. Sri Lanka plunged into its worst financial crisis in 7 decades last year after its foreign exchange reserves dwindled to record lows. But since locking down a $2.5 billion IMF program in March, it has managed to partly stabilize its economy, reducing runaway inflation and rebuilding reserves. However, the country has struggled to increase public revenue, with the IMF projecting a 15% shortfall this year. An improved performance for next year is necessary for Sri Lanka to get past the first review of this program with the global leader. Sri Lanka reached a staff-level agreement with the IMF late on Thursday to release the second tranche of about $330 million, but still needs approval from the IMF Management and Executive Board. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Cherished companion of microfinance banking, Samurdhi Community Bank.
We continue with local news. The Ceylon Electricity Board has received permission from the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka to increase electricity tariffs from today. The approved tariff is effective from today to the 30th of June 2024. The PUCSL has given their approval on an 18% increase in electricity tariffs. This decision after a thorough review of all the facts gathered during the public consultation. Parliament met at 9:30 this morning. Parliament will debate that the United Nations organization should mediate to stop the Israel-Palestinian war. The proposal was submitted by parliamentarian Udaya Gamampila. He stated that the United Nations organizations should mediate to stop the war as it is violating human rights. Parliamentarian Sudarshana Denapitiya seconded the proposal. He also stated that the existing war will badly affect Sri Lanka. All organizations should mediate to stop this war from escalating globally. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that the Gaza Strip should be given to the Palestinians while confirming the security of Israel. Therefore, a favourable solution should be reached regarding the two nations. That ends the local segment of news.
Your closest ally in microfinance banking. The front runner in uplifting low-income households, extending a hand to those aspiring to thrive. Your very own financial institution, Samurdhi Community Bank, with a presence of 1,089 branches throughout the island. Your closest ally in microfinance banking. Your steadfast financial partner, Samurdhi Community Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
A new program has been introduced to educate the farmer communities on increasing the agricultural crop harvest. This program will be implemented between the government and the United Nations organization. The objective of this program is to enhance the food security in future and to develop the agricultural sector in the country. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight, a mobile clinic service organized by the Provincial Council of the Northwestern Province and the Kurunegala District Secretariat Office will be held at the 3 Gamini in Kavisi Gamua. Medical clinics, including eye and Ayurvedic clinics, are to be conducted. At this clinic, spectacles will be provided free of charge to the needy. That was Watchlight. We now take a look at world news. First, the headlines. Biden says he will not let Hamas and Putin win. Canada withdraws 41 diplomats from India. The Niger junta says ousted President Mohamed Bazoum tried to escape. U.S. President Joe Biden has delivered a televised speech on the U.S. response to Hamas attacks against Israel. He said he would ask U.S. Congress for billions of dollars for Israel and Ukraine, saying abandoning the U.S. allies was just not worth it. He also urged Israeli leaders to learn from U.S. mistakes after the 9/11 attacks and to avoid being blinded by rage. Biden's speech comes after his whirlwind trip to Israel and after an agreement was reached with Egypt to allow some aid to enter Gaza. Details are still emerging on a blast near St. Porphyrius Church in Gaza. The enclave's oldest Gaza remains under siege, with Israel blocking supplies of water, electricity, food and fuel across its border. 41 Canadian diplomats have recently left India amid a rift over the murder of a Sikh separatist leader on Canadian soil. India asked Canada 2 weeks ago to withdraw dozens of its diplomatic staff and threatened to remove their immunity if they remained. Canadian officials called the threat a violation of international law. Relations have been tense after Canada accused India of being behind the 18th June killing of Hardeep Singh Najjar. India has denied the allegations, calling them absurd. The military government of Niger says it has foiled an attempt by the deposed former President Mohamed Bazoum to escape from custody. The former president attempted to flee in the night with his family, cooks and security, a military spokesman said. There were plans for the group to fly out on helicopters, but the plan was foiled, he added. Mr. Bazoum had been under house arrest since members of his presidential guard staged a coup in late July. Niger is a key part of the African region known as the Sahel, a belt of land that stretches from the Atlantic Ocean to the Red Sea. The area is plunged by jihadists and beset by military regimes. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Biden says he will not let Hamas and Putin win. Canada withdraws 41 diplomats from India. The Niger junta says ousted President Mohamed Bazoum tried to escape. That ends this bulletin of world news.
Development news.
Measures will be taken to update the urban development plan in the Marvanelda town. Plans have been made to be complete within a period of 10 years. This program will be initiated by the Urban Development Authority, and that was Development News.
Sports News is brought to you by Shakti. Refresh your mind and body. Shakti Energy Drink. 350 rupees only. Available at island-wide leading groceries and supermarkets. Shakti. Taste the power.
The World Championship cricket between Australia and Pakistan will be played in Bangalore today. This is the 18th match of the series. The match will begin at 2 p.m. The 4th Asian Para Games will start tomorrow in Hangzhou, China, featuring 22 sports and is scheduled to continue until the 28th of this month. Sri Lanka will be represented by 26 athletes in 8 sports: athletics, archery, badminton, powerlifting, rowing, swimming, table tennis and wheelchair tennis. Tokyo 2020 Paralympics gold medalist Dinesh Priyantha Herap will captain the Sri Lankan para team. Over 4,000 athletes from 44 countries in the region are scheduled to participate at this event. That was Sports News.
Shakti. Refresh your mind and body. Shakti Energy Drink. 350 rupees only. Available at island-wide leading groceries and supermarkets. Shakti. Taste the power.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Havelock City Mall was opened today by Chairman of the Havelock City Private Limited, Ajit Jayaratne. The Board of Directors of Overseas Realty PLC, Praveer Samarasinghe, Mirra Tao Ong, Rohini Nanayakkara and Ben Tao also participated. This international standard shopping mall promises to deliver an unparalleled shopping and entertainment experience, creating an ideal destination for the local community right in the heart of Colombo.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Plans are underway to cultivate additional crops on the 119,000 acres of land in the Anuradhapura district. During the Maha season, paddy will be cultivated on 67,000 acres of land. That was Economic News.
Weather report.
And finally, we take a look at the weather report. Showers or thunder showers will occur over most parts of the island after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers of about 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Uva, central and eastern provinces. Showers will occur in the western and southern provinces during the morning hours. To end this afternoon's news broadcast, the headlines again. The President meets the Chinese President. Sri Lanka reached a staff-level agreement with the IMF to release the second tranche of about $330 million. The Public Utilities Commission approves the electricity tariff increase from today. The Parliament debates on the decision the United Nations organization should take to mediate the Palestinian-Israel war. That ends this afternoon's news broadcast.